People jump for their lives as their Northeast Portland apartment burns. And now we're hearing from the mother of one of the people who jumped.
And a Texas teen faces decades in jail for licking a tub of ice cream and putting it back on the shelves in the store. Does the punishment fit the crime? Plus.
Tale as old as time, a man and his tuba. How a West Salem student's trusty instrument helped him pay his way through college, but why his parents couldn't be there to cheer on his success.
This is KGW News at 6.
We want to get started right now with some breaking news. There is a bad crash to tell you about on Highway 26 between two vehicles affecting traffic in both directions on that busy road.
Yeah, this photo obviously from the scene there. Not much to tell at this point, except that the wreck was cleared the last time we looked, but there is still a pretty big backup out in that area. And we do know that at least one person was taken to the hospital via ambulance. We'll let you know about any other major changes there, of course, on KGW.com and through the KGW app.
Now to just a terrifying morning for 10 people living in this fourplex. Check out some of the video here. Flames engulfed this building in just minutes, and people actually had to jump out of windows just to make it out alive.
Yeah, it's so scary. Tonight, investigators are saying that this fire is suspicious, but at this point, we don't know how it started. And just moments ago, we caught up with the mom of one of the people who jumped out of that fourplex.
Yeah, KGW's Art Edwards is live there in Northeast Portland. When we talked to you at 5, you hadn't spoken to her yet, Art. Really anxious to hear what she had to say. What did she tell you about this moment?
Well, she says she's been over at the hospital most of the day with her daughter. She says her daughter jumped. If she hadn't of, she would not have made it out of that building alive. She has a cracked vertebrae, broken hip, burns, other injuries, but she says her daughter is going to recover. Now, investigators have finished up what they're going to do at the scene of this fire. Right now, they say the cause is still undetermined.
All units from command at this time, we're going to be defensive. Engine 24, I need you to get your turret going. Let's see if we can knock this thing down, transition to fire, okay?
This is what a battalion chief from Portland Fire and Rescue saw as he pulled up to the scene on Northeast Garfield and Failing, a raging fire consuming a fourplex. Witnesses said they heard explosions. The noise woke up Daniel Walker, so he went outside to investigate.
When I came out, I stood right about here, and my face was burning because it was so hot. And the whole house everything was gone. It was like on the outside, it was like on the inside, coming out of every window of the house.
10 people were in the building. All of them made it out, but 2 had to jump from the top floor, including Teresa Williams' daughter, Stephanie.
It just kept getting hotter and hotter and smokier, and she said she could hear JJ yelling, "Jump, jump, Stephanie, you got to throw the dog and jump, you got to." And then she finally did throw the puppy, and then she finally did jump herself, but she hit the concrete barrier that was on the side when she came down, so she got pretty hurt.
There are buildings under construction right next to the fourplex that burned. Firefighters were able to keep the flames from spreading, and those buildings had minor damage. By early this afternoon, investigators were able to get into what was left of the building and begin their work. They're looking for any clues that will help them figure out the cause of this devastating early morning fire. Now, the investigators gathered a lot of material here at the scene. They're going to take that back to the office, go through it, see if they can figure out exactly what caused the fire. There is work going on at the building right behind me right now. There's a crew in there trying to shore things up to make sure that it doesn't collapse what's left of that building after that devastating fire. Back to you.
Yeah, such a scary story. You just hurt for everyone who had to jump out to escape. Art Edwards live for us with that interview. Art, thank you so much. And then at the same time, out near Oregon's coast, an iconic cafe also caught fire last night, and people there are already looking to rebuild. These photos here show the smoke pouring out of the Otis Cafe. It caught fire a little bit before 8, and investigators are trying to figure out at this point how. They say the place was empty, and they don't suspect foul play in this case. Otis is a small, unincorporated community north of Lincoln City, and officials there say for decades that cafe has been a favorite for beachgoers and truckers traveling along Highway 18.
We need to bring it back. Otis Cafe will survive. It will come out of the ashes, and it might be better than it was before.
Yeah, fingers crossed there. So the owner of Otis Cafe says he's been getting calls nonstop from people who want to help, and a lot of them also want to know when he's planning to rebuild. They assume he is. He says he wants to. No word, though, on how long that could take.
Yeah, not a shame. I hope they can make that happen. We're going to give you an update now on all those emergency dispatcher calls that they've been getting over the last weekend about last weekend's protest from callers out of the state, some people even out of the United States. The Portland Bureau of Emergency Management tells us now that fortunately those calls have begun to taper off. Now, they were also worried about people making unnecessary calls to report fireworks. In past years, dispatchers have gotten around 1,000 calls in one night about fireworks around the 4th of July. The good news is they say that actually they had fewer calls for fireworks than in years past.
Turning now to national news and a sad update in the case of a missing Utah college student. The body of 23-year-old Mackenzie Lueck was found in a canyon. Lueck vanished in mid-June after taking a ride share to a park from the Salt Lake City airport. Pictures of her, these at the airport, are the last known pictures taken of her, period. Cell phone records eventually led investigators to evidence and helped them arrest this man here, Ayula Uchai, in connection.
I spoke with Mackenzie's family this morning. Another devastating call. Despite their grief, we hope this will help them find some closure and justice for Mackenzie.
So Uchai is being held without bail at this point, and he faces murder and kidnapping charges.
A federal agency has cited Seattle Children's Hospital for safety violations stemming from a mold problem. One patient died. The report from Medicare and Medicaid services lists more than 24 violations, among them failure to maintain clean air filter systems that fed to the operating rooms. The hospital says 3 patients developed aspergillus infections this year and 3 were infected in 2018. 14 operating rooms were closed during the investigation, and those just reopened yesterday. The hospital has submitted a correction plan to the Medicare and Medicaid Services Agency. It has yet to be approved.
All right, everybody, let's change gears a little bit. Bring it back home. It's a holiday weekend, of course, and the Blues Fest is happening on the waterfront.
Let's go out to meteorologist Joe Ranieri, who's living the good life. He's out in the water. Joe, how's it going out there?
Not jealous at all.
Hey, it's not a bad life right now. Now, earlier this afternoon, we were across the way at the waterfront. Now I'm on a boat. See, it's not a bad way to spend Friday night with Joe Ranieri. So all the photographers, Friday is the best gig to work with me here with the KGW staff. But you can see across the way that we're live here for the Blues Festival. This is an event that's been going on for more than 30 years. This is the 32nd anniversary. You can see behind me, thousands of people are all lined up there across there along the waterfront. Meanwhile, a lot of people who might not get a ticket, well, they have their minds right on, with the boats, the paddle boards. A perfect evening to come out here and enjoy some music. Just yesterday alone, you guys, there's around 30,000 people that came out here to listen to music on 4 different stages. If you didn't get a chance to come out last night or you have other plans tonight, it still goes on throughout the holiday weekend. And we are going to be seeing some conditions kind of pleasant to spend some time outside. It's not going to be too hot, but there is a little slight chance to see some light sprinkles. As we look at the satellite and radar, you can pick up some increasing clouds really north of us. But throughout the metro area tonight, we're not going to really have any issues in terms of seeing precipitation. We are going to be seeing some clouds increase. We saw about a 2-hour window where we saw a little bit more of the sunshine compared to earlier today, where we saw some thick clouds kind of filter in throughout the coast and the valley. But if you're spending any time along the east side of the state tonight and the weekend, that's where all the sunshine and the warm temperatures are going to be, by about 15 degrees or so in a few locations. So I'll talk more about that in the detailed forecast. I'm also tracking some more typical weather that we should see this time of year. I know this holiday weekend has been kind of cool and cloudy. Things will start to change over the next few days. All the details on that coming up.
It all feels good when you're hanging out on a boat, Joe.
Yeah, seriously.
When you're just sitting out there on the water enjoying the
really
music
does.
from the
Doesn't matter
Blues
who
Fest.
you're with.
Yeah, we're both a little salty here.
All right, Joe, we'll talk to you in just a little bit. Meanwhile, if you're trying to find your own way to cool off this holiday weekend, there is a new public beach that opened today on the east bank of the Willamette.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. It's right next to the Hawthorne Bridge, and KGW's Morgan Romero explains how the Audrey McCall Beach has been a long time coming.
Jump in. The water's nice. Now you've got a new place to experience it. Across the river from her husband's namesake.
You have views of downtown Portland, you have sunset views.
Audrey McCall Beach is finally open.
We've been working on this since 2012.
Nonprofit Human Access Project, together with inmates, cleared 19 tons of concrete and debris.
It looked like this all the way across the beach.
And the organization got all required permits for the swimming area.
Yeah, I'm totally excited. I'm going to be hanging out on the beach.
Now, Portland's second official public beach after Poets Beach across the river.
When you add water to anything, it makes it exponentially more fun.
Human Access Project ringleader Willie Levinson says this spot is a milestone for the city.
Portland has no idea what's about to happen to this city. We're about to get a brand new leg of livability.
The Human Access Project is paying to have lifeguards at this beach Friday through Sunday, but of course you can come on down here any day. Today, I figured it was my day to take a dip, so why not? Woo!
The whole idea is that if people can get access to the water and counter the river, that they'll take better care of it.
The group's mission is to transform Portland's relationship with the river.
I think it's really misunderstood.
The Willamette near downtown was once unclean, but it's come a long way thanks to the Big Pipe project.
We want to convince people, we want people to see that the river's clean and safe to swim in.
City of Portland's Environmental Services E. coli tests show that's true. They take samples from 5 popular spots weekly during the summer. All look good this week. Morgan Romero, KGW News.
Was I the only one completely caught off guard when she went in the water? Oh my gosh,
cool.
Morgan, well done. You got me. So lifeguards put out a temporary swim line and life jacket loaner station at that beach. And to try and keep everything clean, Human Access Project is working with a homeless advocacy group to pay them to pick up trash. So a great project all the way around.
Yeah, go Morgan, too. That was intense. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, our viewer voice topic tonight is gross. I'm not going to lie to you. The girl you see in this video faces, wait for it, a maximum of 20 years in prison for what you see her doing. Some took a video of her grabbing a tub of ice cream out of a Texas grocery store, opening it, and then licking the ice cream, putting the lid back on, putting it back in the fridge. It's part of some kind of online prank, and we know that because there's a ton of similar videos all over the internet.
We're going to be filling up our prisons with people licking ice cream. The girl you saw in that video has been identified, and police have talked to her. She's a kid. She's a minor, so they're not identifying who she is exactly. They're not telling us her name. They also say this is not a prank, according to them. They say, in fact, it's extremely dangerous.
Not only is this a state felony, this is also could be classified as a federal offense. We've actually contacted the FDA and they will be looking into the incident.
So Texas Juvenile Justice Department, they're going to be handling this case moving forward. The charge, tampering with a consumer product. Now that's a second-degree felony in Texas. And because of that, the girl could face between 2 and 20 years of prison time.
Yeah, so we want to know if you think that seems like a fair punishment. Let us know. KGW.com/vote is the place to go. You can also vote through the KGW app. Just tap that tile that says viewer voice.
All right, coming up, a real treat for folks who visited Haystack Rock this morning. The wild act of nature that let people experience it like never before. Plus,
she may not be old enough to drive, but that isn't stopping her from taking down everybody between her and Wimbledon stardom. Coco Gauff's incredible come-from-behind victory today in London.
Yeah, she isn't old enough to drive.
No, she's not.
Crazy. Hey, we're still looking for businesses to volunteer to be collection sites during this year's school supply drive. It's almost here. Everything you need to know to sign up your business is at kgw.com/supply.